Wolverine. Wolverine.
Come on, Fahoogoogawds. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 258, recorded on April 16th. That's right, the 16th of April, 2019. On the docket today, we're going to have Whatchuplayin featuring Anno 1800 and the Highwaymen. We're going to talk our gaming resolutions, and finally, we will close out the show with what's around the web and that sweet, awkward finish. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of Fluxtaposed. I am Jason Lacey. I am still Jason Lacey, and I am joined once again, for now, till that baby comes yet again, Mr. Lucas Rose.
Hello. How you doing?
Hi. I am great. How are you? I'm great.
I'm good. I'm good. Everything's good here. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Oh gosh.
That's a
South
callback,
Park, yeah. South Park reference.
That was the movie, right?
I don't know. Bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yeah, no, I think he was actually in the TV show first. I don't know. Bye, Sean. Hi, Sean. Bye, Sean. Josh Bones is in the chat. What's up, everyone? I hope you're doing well, because Lucas and I are doing well, so we hope you're doing well, too. This is Fluxtaposed.
Oh, it's true.
Your number one hangout podcast. How about that?
Self-proclaimed.
We used to invite you to pull up a chair, but now I say something random and funny every time. But we'd like to think that you're just hanging out with us. Maybe you're having a beer. Maybe you're having a glass of wine. Maybe you prefer some hard malt liquor. That's okay. We don't judge, but just have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Let the stress of life wash over you and dissipate and disappear. And let our energies and joy fill your voids with funness.
Oh my God,
and
we're
other
being hosted.
or other horrible things, whatever you think about. I'm going to crack open this delightful
LaCroix?
LaCroix.
I was going to say, no beer here.
An LA Croix. This is, do you know what a pamplemousse is? This says
Pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse.
I don't know, but it sounds disgusting. It sounds like something that would grow on your back, and
it's
you
innocent.
have to be surgically removed.
Let's test the pamplemousse.
Test the pamplemousse. Taste extra pamplemousse.
I heard they recently added more
Pample.
sparklingness, more salsa to the water.
You get pample on the front, and then on the back end, there's a lot of mousse. What's it taste like? Anything?
I don't know. No, I mean,
does it even tell you what it is?
They all kind of taste the same. Have you ever had a LaCroix and then left it out for like half an hour?
Second.
Yeah. And then you came back to it, and then it's just like badly flavored water.
Yeah, it's just regular water at that point.
Without the bubbles. Just
the scrubbing bubbles. So you don't know what it tastes like. Do you like it though? Do you love the pamplemousse?
It's not bad. It just tastes like a hint of berry.
Ooh.
In the water.
I do like berry. I prefer berry over citrus every time. I will say that. Unless it's orange juice, because berry orange juice would sound and taste disgusting.
I could see that. But here's my question for you, Lucas.
What?
What do we about that? No.
Wow.
Don't answer that. I just was looking for a horrible excuse to say that, and now I have it.
You don't need an excuse. I've told you that. Just say it.
True.
As long as you don't
Moving
spray
on, let's get the particulars all the way, gang. We would love for you to join us on Discord. Please check out fluxtaposed.com/Discord. That'll get you an invite to the server. Probably the best, most random Discord server around. It's the best around. You know I'm never going to keep you down.
It's true.
Because it's true. We added a new tier to the old Patreon. A $15 tier gets you all the great rewards that our other tiers have, but that sweet Fluxta shirt, that's at a discounted value, I might add. And I think all the kids
are gonna
wearing
want
those
it.
shirts.
You're gonna love the way you look. That's a
I mean,
callback.
if you hang out in the Discord long enough, you might see one Mr. Skinny Matt do his sexy picture pose wearing a Fluxta shirt.
Ooh.
And if that doesn't sell a Fluxta shirt,
I don't know what do.
I don't know what will. Speaking of Skinny Matt, he does have a podcast community meetup going on this summer that we can't go to because we're poor.
It's true.
And can't have fun. But other people,
but not poor
we
in
would love for you to
spirit.
meet up. I mean, who doesn't want to tear up Rochester? You know, it's a great city.
I heard it's lovely that time of year.
The gaming museum there, the Strong Museum of Play, be a great time. So check out. We'll get a link. We'll put a link in the show notes because I can't remember it now and all the dates in the particular. So to go in the show notes for all of you to reference. We're still Humble partners as always. You know the details on that. Great games at Humble. Right now, is that still that kids game bundle?
Yeah, there actually was a Square Enix collective or something like that. They make indie games. They help foster indie games, but we don't get a portion of that. This is the first time I've ever gotten this email, but they said for this particular bundle, you don't get shit for it. So just be aware of that. And I was like, what?
And, the book bundle just ended, right? The gaming.
I think it's got one more day.
One more day. So by the time you hear this, it's over.
Yeah, it's
Fluxtaposed
basically
Radio.
over.
I don't remember I don't think we officially announced it yet, but April's theme, that's this month. Gotta go fast is the winner.
Gotta go faster.
So racing games, maybe Sonic the Hedgehog, anything with speed might end up in this
Speed is key.
volume. Patrons, you get early access. You peasants, you will get it when we release it publicly.
Question. Will we allow
Answer.
Will we allow things like Wave Race or what was the Wipeout?
Okay, Wave Race doesn't strike me as fast though.
That's true.
You know,
especially when the
that's
waves.
like waves and Wipeout. I'll allow Wipeout. I mean, you just want to throw some Prodigy in there, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Most of the racing games just have licensed music.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be They're gonna be the old school.
Outrun.
Outrun's gonna probably be featured a lot.
What about RC Pro-Am? Not fast. I don't really feel like that's fast.
It's fast for their size, you know. Little
Yeah,
RC going like 30 miles per hour.
Scale, if we go size to
Twisted Metal.
If we go from a ratio of size to friction to momentum to kinetic energy, it passes.
Force
validation.
equals mass times radius. That's a fact.
Why did you start going George W. there at the end? You're like, force equals
You gotta go.
radius.
You gotta go George W.
Well, that was Herbert Walker.
Wouldn't be prudent. You gotta.
You're
You
going
tell me.
Gambit.
You tell me what I sound like, and I'll just keep talking.
You sound like a. Why do you sound Jamaican when you're trying to do a?
Sound like a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Top of the
Anywho,
morning to you.
Fluxtaposed Radio. Look forward to that. And giveaways. We do a giveaway every month. This month we're going to give you the trifecta, the Triforce of giveaways, your choice. 3 items to pick from: a Cuphead mug, because he's coming to Switch this week. Why
And he can
not
come
be
to
on
your
the meta?
house in cup form.
Yeah.
See?
But he's not Mugman, but he's Cuphead as a mug.
It
We
blows
have
my
couple of
mind.
Mario prints. They're kind of shadow boxy, but kind of not. Super Mario
Canvas.
World and Super Mario Kart, they look cool.
I think they're printed on canvas, and that's why it's throwing you for a loop. Framed
might.
canvas.
They're nice. They look
Cool.
well. Again, on if you go to patreon.com/fluxtaposed, we got some images of those, and on our website, I have the same post there as well. Fluxtaposed.com. You can see a better imagery of said items. And our last one is a digital album from Materia Collective called Menu. It's a bunch of various menu themes from a title screen themes from a bunch of games. There's a ton of songs in there. And as I mentioned last time, Katamari Damacy starts it all. And who doesn't like little Katamari on the rocks? Choo, 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 choo. If you can't hear that and not dance,
At least a little shimmy.
I think you're dead. I think you're dead inside,
That's right.
like Lucas's heart. You know.
Just inside of my
So-
heart, not my heart. The inside of my heart. It's hollow. Like a
And
knight.
I guess we need to really determine how people can enter for that giveaway. We should probably really get that entry form put together.
I don't know. Is Patreon gonna give us a slap on the wrist? I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what's
Might
legal
should've-
anymore. Thought this was America.
I think all of us little small podcasts that were doing things like that got the little slap on the wrist this past week.
It's true.
So,
we're all feeling the burn, as it were.
We thought we dodged the long arm of the law, and then at midnight, the one night, they're like,
What's the Overwatch character? It's high noon, and that's what Patreon did, and they just shot us all dead.
High noon. Yeah, basically, that's what happened. Let's get that done. That's out of the way. Shall we do a little IRL?
Okay.
Snapshot into our lives so people can feel better about their own. That's like the official tagline. IRL. Feel better about yourself.
It's true. It's true. You ain't wrong.
Well, what? Me? You? Who? Huh? I feel like
Mine's
it's like the
pretty...
Night of the Roxbury moment. It's like, huh?
Doing a little dance in the hallway, making a little love. Get down tonight. Well, mine's going to be fairly long, I have a feeling. So if you would maybe like to go first, I would not behoove you.
Well, okay, sure. I got sick last weekend. That's fun.
You don't get sick very often.
I know, but I was like, I had like that sinus pressure. I felt like I had a headband, like super tight, but not.
Ooh.
So I like just sat in the chair all Saturday. I was like, ugh. And then I'm like, you feel pretty good, and you go to stand up, and you can just feel everything like the gravity forced everything down, and then you feel
gross,
horrible again.
I always remember the commercial. I think it's for medicine for allergies and stuff when it has the floaty head because it's a
medicine
balloon.
Head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your head feel floaty? And I'm like, nope, never felt that way. It sounds horrible though.
The worst part though was like my son was in a great mood like that weekend. It just stinks to miss out on like doing things with him. He has this outdoor activities class that started on Saturday. It's called Tinker Garden. They have to do a variety of different things. That first one was Saturday. Now, albeit our weather here in Michigan wasn't great last Saturday, but so I couldn't go to that. Couldn't go grocery shopping. Didn't do a lot of stuff. It stinked. And we're tossing around the idea. We've been looking at houses. We've been house shopping.
Yeah, you were talking about this on the Discord.
Yeah, we got a good chunk of equity right now. And the market here in Michigan's been it's been a seller's market for a long time. So we've been looking, maybe selling this place, buying another. Now we're even talking about, wouldn't it be nice just to sell this and put a huge chunk of money in our pockets and even consider like apartment living for a time being? I don't know. We'll see. A lot of options, but it's already though. I feel the anxiety and the stress already there. It's just the initial looking at stuff, and that's supposed to be the fun part. But then I'm like,
you got to move.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the good thing. Like if we moved, I think we'd end up getting rid of a ton of stuff. Like we already feel like we have too much stuff, so I think we'd downsize a lot of junk. So that'd be good, but I don't know. Luckily, we own this house, so it's not like we have to get out of here in 2 weeks. There's no time limit, so we can just browse at our leisure, so to speak.
That's always good. Nothing like the pressing end date of a apartment contract to make you feel the
or
pressure.
having or early terminations and getting paying fees and
trying to go month to month, and they're
exactly.
You have to pay $3,000 million. Have fun.
Also, I feel like I'm paying too much for Comcast right now, so I think I'm about ready to call them up and start doing that song and dance again.
Have fun. That'll be a fun 2 hours for you.
Well, the problem is, my issue is I have TV, I have internet, and I have home security. So right there, I have 3 services. So unless I dropped one, I don't think I can really do a whole lot.
Well, if you need to justify the home security, I can come try to break in your house, and then you can be like, I got my money's worth. Deterred. Right? You need a broom handle. That's all you need. That is house security 101.
Ooh, that's true. Broom. That's very true. And my last little fun tip for the day. Well, I will mention it. I mentioned on the Discord too. My wife has had a very horribly looming diagnosis over her head for the past, I don't know how many months. I think I mentioned that on the show when that first happened, and she got her second opinion today, and the first doctor is an a-hole, essentially. So
wow.
New doctor doesn't agree with the opinion at all, especially since she has none of the symptoms. And I'm not going to go into details, but the first condition would have been a chronic ailment that she would be dealing with the rest of her life. You have an increased risk of cancer because of that ailment, blah, blah. What she does have is similar family, but doesn't have all the negative associations with it. And essentially it's like a flare-up, And then once the medicine clears it away, you could go years or, extreme duration time, and you'll probably have another one, or it could be triggered by something, but it's treatable. It's not chronic, and there's no cancer risks that go along with it.
Ooh, okay. Oof.
And like she said, like she came home and like after, like she called me after she was like crying, and I was like, oh God, I'm thinking it's worse, but it was just like all this pent up anxiety and fear and emotion and anger from 2 months just gone. She's like the time she told me to like 3 hours afterwards, I was just crying for like 3 hours straight. So as a family, we're in a much better place, and hopefully that takes a huge weight off her shoulders and helps her be a better person, because I know it's forced her in a bad place for a long period of time.
Well, yeah, good Lord.
Yeah. And lastly, I just have to say we bought an item on Amazon. It was a tortilla press. I'm sorry, Kala. And we're not going to make our own homemade tortillas anytime soon now, because of this diagnosis, she's not going to have to go through these dietary restrictions. That's the whole reason she's working. That's the whole reason she was working with this nutritionist, and she's not going to do that anymore. So we're never going to want to make our own tortillas. So I was like, let's return it. And you go to return it, and it's like, this item is not eligible. And it's like, well, that's a crock of shit. And I looked on the listing; it doesn't say anywhere where it's not eligible for, that it's not. So I like contact the seller to see if I can work something out. Their English is definitely not their first language, and they're like, you must contact Amazon. So I like, all right, let's do the web chat online with Amazon. You do it through the robot auto text. Mm-hmm. I get some dude in India, in the chat, and I just give him the problem, and he's like, oh yep, item's not returnable. So in this case, you keep the item, and we'll just give you a full refund. It's like, okay. He's like, okay, just one question for you, Jason. Do you want that on a gift card or back on your original purchase? And I was like, yeah, just put it back on my Amazon card. So you're telling me I get $25 back, and we can just sell it on Facebook Marketplace? Perfect. Win-win.
That's what happened with that phone. When I tried to return the phone to the seller, and they were like, I can't remember why I had to return it, but it was the Motorola phone, and it wouldn't work. And then I found out, I didn't buy it from an Amazon seller. I bought it from a storefront on Amazon, and I had to contact them because the a-hole wasn't taking the phone back. And they were like, oh yeah, well, just you return. Well, we had to return the phone because of the price probably, but they've refunded the money. So yeah. Amazon, for what you hear about in the news, their customer service is pretty good.
Of anger and vitriol on, of course you do on social media and stuff, but people like, when the pre-order items don't ship on time, or where items are delayed. And I'm not trying to single anyone out, because I've gone through those experiences as well, or the price hikes in Prime. But I mean, like we've been talking lately, all of a sudden we're getting items in one day. Yeah.
I ordered a phone, and I'm getting it tomorrow. Good Lord.
Because we have, there is a large Amazon warehouse in Brownstown, which is a suburb of Detroit, and they're building an Amazon warehouse in our city right now in Grand Rapids. There's one being constructed too. So I don't know if that has a little bit something to do with it.
I've noticed
a lot of shipments. I had a lot of shipments come from Brownstown, so I'm sure that plays a part.
I've also noticed there's a lot more Amazon shippers, like people who ship for Amazon.
Drivers.
Yeah, flex drivers. So that
even for like too. What we have delivered to my office, because we buy stuff on Amazon. I'm buying stuff like every week. Especially we use just crappy ViewSonic monitors. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, you only can buy 5 at a time. For this one that we use, so I have to buy 5, and then I have to wait like 2 days, and then I can buy 5 more. But it's always, I'd say it's an even mix between UPS, FedEx, and Flex that are delivering most of our stuff, which is weird because at my previous location, it was always UPS delivering our Amazon packages. So I just wonder, it must just be, on location. I don't know. It's really interesting. So, but to say, I've had good experience with Amazon, and I'll gladly pay. What does the Prime cost me now? $120 now.
I think so.
A year. Because alone and shipping, I'm buying enough stuff off of there. I'm watching enough stuff on Prime, or Prime Original Programming. I have Amazon Music just on my Echo device, but my wife uses that every day. So I mean, I think I get plenty of value for their services. So
yeah, and
so they got that 5% back on the gift card. I was like, ooh, I'll buy my wife a little gift today, and got it for free with that little store credit on the gift card.
Ooh.
perks of Amazon wish list. I'm always like, well, let's see what's on your wish list today. I don't know why I turn into Michael when I do it, but
apparently
that's that one Michael voice that he does. You know it.
You know the one. Yeah.
You guys know it too. I mean, he's been on the podcast before. I mean,
like,
and he's responded to things in our Discord 3 weeks after we talked about him. You guys know. Also, my last bit before I turn it over to you, since I'm going on and on and on forever, I apologize. Watch along. You gotta get the next watch along going.
Oh yeah, we do need to get the next watch along.
I saw Tom Servo. Is he in the chat? Not yet.
He's trying to get us to do a non-rift tracks or MST3K.
A
non-rift movie.
Without us getting to the proper Patreon goal. Patreon.com/Fluxtaposed.
What an asshole. Maybe we'll do one. We'll do it just this once. You get the first one free, and then you'll see what you're missing if you don't up your. Sorry, my dog is just going crazy. Good Lord. How many times are you going to itch yourself?
Well, you got that jar of peanut butter slabbed all over. You know where. I mean, he's going to keep attacking the pleasure zone.
The area. The area of effect. All right.
Yeah.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can.
So I had a fun Friday. It was great. Now
you did.
My
Again,
wife,
if you're in the Discord, is that the theme of tonight? I guess that's tonight's episode. If you're in the Discord,
if you were in the Discord, you know, but you're not, so you don't. Yeah, pretty much. So last Friday morning, my wife was experiencing some discomfort in the evening time. I think she woke up from a dead sleep and was just like, I don't feel very good. And I remember her saying I barely remembered her telling me later that she was getting up and just going to go downstairs and lay on the couch for a while. So, which hasn't really happened too much, honestly. She's never been that uncomfortable that she just woke up and was like, I'm just going to stay up now. It's 4 a.m., whatever. So this had continued for the rest of the morning, basically. I was asleep, and then she decided, well, she was going to go into work, and everything proceeded as normal for the most part. But she said, I'm going to call my doctor and ask her what she thinks about what's going on with the whole, like, feeling like I'm having contractions and everything. And I said, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, I'm asleep. I'm half asleep. You do what you got to do.
Why did you become me all of a sudden?
I don't know. Because I was half asleep, and I don't know any better.
Person when you're tired or asleep.
Basically, I'm just like, okay. Why'd you wake me up? So everything proceeds as normal. Now, in the morning, I'm a horrible parent, and I'm a horrible parent all the time, but especially in the morning. My phone has like a kids mode, so I can control what apps are on there. And nice. really it's only PBS Kids and YouTube Kids, which, as we all know, has Momo on there, and it's causing my son to want to commit suicide. But anyways,
seppuku?
Yes.
Seppuku?
That's an honorable death. Yeah, seppuku.
Thank you.
Thankfully, we don't have any katanas in the house. I know it's not a katana that they use.
Guys.
Yeah. So
I don't watch Naruto or
do the hand motions. No. Hit your microphone while you do the hand motions. And anyway, so he has my phone and he's watching something, and it doesn't allow. I can make it so he can't answer phone calls because that would be horrible. I only get phone calls over Wi-Fi anyways, so I typically don't get too many. But if I do, it's usually somebody I know.
How does that work? Does your phone not even have a SIM card?
Yeah, it does. Here's the thing. This is what I learned when, and I'll talk more about this next week.
Because I've been meaning to ask you when you typed that out, and I was like, well, how does that?
Okay, what happens is I get 4G data, but I don't get 4G LTE, and I don't get 4G voice.
Oh, okay.
They're two different things, apparently. So that's why the only time I can actually make or receive phone calls is if I switch it to 2G. So,
oh god,
it's horrible.
So you can't even make. So even when you're at home on your Wi-Fi, you couldn't make a call.
Yeah, I can make it through. Well, I can make it through Wi-Fi, but not through the actual cell phone tower.
I got it.
So anyway, she called me apparently, and my phone wouldn't my phone was on silence or I didn't hear it. Isaac didn't tell me my phone was ringing. Long story short, she's freaking out because she thinks she can't get a hold of me. She calls my brother-in-law, Derek, to basically come to our house because the doctor tells her that she should just go to the hospital. So she goes to not the emergency room, but the pregnancy ward, basically, and gets checked in, and she goes to triage. And
before people are like, well, that a-hole didn't even go with his wife. Well, someone had to stay with your kid until she got...
Yes. Like I said, everything was pretty much normal. She was kind of on the fence about even calling, really. So, but our doctor is usually pretty cautious about things. And she was like, well, why don't you just go in so we know that everything's okay? So I'm confused at this point because all of a sudden we're just laying there. I'm half awake. Cody's sleeping. Cody sleeps right next to us. And all of a sudden I hear pounding on the door and Cody immediately starts barking. And since we have wooden floors throughout the entire house, it just echoes throughout the entire house. It's so loud. And I'm just like, oh, what the hell's going on? And then Isaac
disturbs my slumber.
Basically, Isaac's like asking me questions about who's here and looking out the window. And he's like, it's Derek. And I'm like, why is Derek here? What's going on? And Cody's barking the whole time. And I'm like, so I'm just like, Cody, shut up. Cause he's been barking a lot at this point. And I'm like half awake. So I'm really pissed off. And I'm like, okay, I hear you, because they keep knocking. They won't stop. And it makes Cody just continue to bark and bark and bark. And I'm just going nuts. I'm going crazy. So, and of course, I'm only in my boxers. So then I got to find clothes. I got to put them on. Cody's still barking. I'm yelling from the top of the stairs. I'm like, Cody, stop barking. I hear you. I'm not dead in here. I hear you knocking on the door. They still knock, because I found out later they can't hear me at all, which is surprising because I guess over the dog barking, you probably wouldn't be able to. So I open the door and I finally get closed on. I open the door and I'm just pissed. I'm like, and I'm thinking it's going to be Derek, and it's Danette's dad.
Oh, God.
So I'm just like, open the door. I'm like, yeah, what do you want, basically? And then I saw who it was. Yeah, and his face was like, oh, hi, because they don't see me like that very often. I'm usually the way that I am on the podcast pretty much 90% of the time. The only time I get really upset is when we call hulking out, because I get ridiculous. Usually at inanimate objects. So I was just like, yeah, what do you want, basically? And then they explained to me what was going on. But here's the thing. I didn't know, like, I was confused. I'm like, is she in labor? Am I going to the hospital? What do you want from me? What's happening? So I was just so just out of sorts. And then I find out what's going on. Basically, she's having contractions. They wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to go into labor because it would be 5 weeks early. So
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to the hospital. And I get there, and because Derek drops me off, and basically we're still up in triage until about 2:30 p.m. I get there at maybe 9. So they're looking to see if they can slow down these contractions because they're quite painful. And so what we learn I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sort through what happened in my head. So we're kind of stuck there for a while. And what we end up learning is that she has a urinary tract infection, which I guess is pretty common. And that can cause sort of the feelings that she's having, because it can inflame like all sorts of stuff that, of course, when you're pregnant in your third trimester, there's not a lot of room in there. Things are rubbing together, being irritated. It's just not a good thing. So she turned to me and she's like, I'm just glad it was something, because I felt like I was just going crazy. Because with Isaac, we went in probably 3 times just because we thought she was having contractions, and this was the time, and it was just, Braxton Hicks or whatever they call it. So then we find out we're going to be there for quite a while because these contractions won't slow down, and they're like 5 minutes apart. So it's pretty happening quite frequently. During this time, I haven't had coffee. I'm used to having my coffee in the morning. I haven't had breakfast. I haven't had a shower. I just threw on some clothes and I left.
Yeah, I mean, who cares what kind of discomfort she's in? I mean, how are you doing?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you haven't had coffee, you haven't had a shower. I mean,
exactly. Well, at this point, we knew.
What is this? I thought this was America.
At this point, we at least know that she's not giving birth right this second. But you never know. So we're waiting, and eventually, it's about lunchtime. I think it was like 11:30 or something like that, and before that,
you had a little rumbling in your tum-tum?
I did. And I'm still coffeeless. And before that, the nurse had said, do you guys need anything? Do you want anything? And I'm the type of person who's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm not the patient here. I don't need anything. And then Danette's like, oh, no, he'll have a coffee. And I'm like, secretly, I'm like, thank you. But really, I'm like, no, I feel like a jackass. So...
I need a cafe latte.
She was like, the nurse was...
Double espresso, no whip.
She says, well, it's no Starbucks coffee, but we have a little station out here. I'll get you something. So she grabbed it, and my God, I forgot. I've either had the most often I have the coffee I make at home. And
where's that
that's
meme
French
of the
press.
hipster barista? We need Lucas's head
Yes.
photoshopped on.
This coffee was awful. It was like water with it like one coffee grain added to it. It's like, here you go.
Oh, did you just do this? You just do the
Salt Bay? A little bit. One coffee grain.
Like...
Sorry, I just got to show off my...
Ooh.
That's just fat moving around.
If that doesn't get some bits, I mean...
I don't know what... Kibbles and bits. So...
Skittles and bits?
The coffee was just dreadful. Yes, that too. The coffee was dreadful.
Shadow Man.
And then the food... So I decided, because she was like, well, you can go get something if you want. And I said, well, they do room service, and then you're already going to order something. It's $8 for anybody else to order room service. And so I call, and first of all, you're on hold for 5 years. And finally, somebody picks up, and I don't know. I when you talk to somebody on the phone, and you just know it's not going to go well. You hear the person talk, and you're just like... oh boy, this is not going to go well. I can already tell.
That's like 60% of my day.
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. All right. So I tell them, this is the first thing out of my mouth. I say, I would like to place a lunch order for a patient and a guest. So clearly I have 2 orders, and I made that clear because it costs $8 for a guest. So I say, I want the grilled cheese and this and that and this as the sides. And then I will also have a burger with that on the side. Now, when you hear that, do you think that's 2 separate orders, or do you think that's an order for one person?
Oh, that's clearly an order for just you.
Well, yes, normally. Maybe like a year ago. And no, I felt like I did as much as I could to clarify what I was doing here. And if they didn't know, then they could have asked me, is that the end of your order, or is this 2 separate orders? What's going on here? I don't know. I've never ordered food from the hospital before. Now that comes into play because I got a burger and I got fries, and it was finally delivered earlier than they said it was going to be. They said it was going to be 45 minutes. It ended up being like 30. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not fries, potato wedges. Now, if you know anything about potato wedges, you have to eat those damn things immediately or they are disgusting.
Fair point.
So, because it's like a quarter of a potato. So, I get these things, and they were made yesterday, or at least that's what it seemed like. The burger, on the other hand, was decent. Now, in my foolish naivete, I assumed that when somebody orders a burger, they just give you the condiments on the side because they don't want to have to deal with that, right? You would just give, here's a ketchup packet, here's a mayonnaise packet, here's a mustard packet, here's a relish packet, whatever. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. No, I was supposed to apparently order all of that along with the typical lettuce, tomato, onions. So I had the world's driest burger. Thankfully, it was warm still, unlike the damn potato wedges. And so I didn't order anything to drink, which was on me. I had coffee, cold potato wedges, and a dry burger. That's what I got to eat. I felt like I was 80 years old. I felt like an old person who has coffee with every meal. I'll have the spaghetti, and can I get a cup of decaf, please? So that was awful. And then finally at 2:30, we basically kind of knew what was going on at this point. We got moved into a post baby room, as in you've had the baby, you get to chill, you get to spend some time together. So much better, because the chairs were like waiting room chairs where you have to sit perfectly at a 90-degree angle. And if you know me well, I ain't about 90 degrees. I can't sit up straight for more than 5 seconds before I feel like I'm going to die. So that wasn't working for me, and having to sit there for 3 hours like that was horrible. So we finally got moved, and they have nice furniture. They have the sleep-in beds. They have the rocking chair where you can rock your baby and do feeding time and everything. So that was nice. Also had a nice view, nice big window. So basically throughout the day, we find out they're going to keep her. They tried some different drugs, and they finally got things to slow down. However, they give shots now pretty liberally, according to the doctor, for babies that they suspect may come out early to help develop their lungs. It's a steroid shot that you get in 2 doses. So she got the first one.
Oh, yes.
She got the first one, and then she had to come back for the second one the next day, no matter what happened. So instead, they were basically like, well, I think we'd all be more comfortable if you just stayed the night, and we'll give you the second shot, see how you are, and release you if everything's fine and nothing happens overnight. So that was the plan. So we make all of these plans. I go home at about 2:30. I pack all of the stuff for her to stay overnight so that she'd be comfortable and had stuff to do and had some munchies to eat on and everything. And we also decided we would grab dinner and bring it to her. Derek and Brittany would come over. Brittany's watching Isaac this whole time. My in-law, sister-in-law, basically. Yeah. So we bring pizza and we eat at the hotel, or at the hotel.
Neener.
Panina Neener, the Little Sleazer special.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I ain't paying extra money to feed all them
Did you have
mouths.
to punch in the code to get it out of the little
No, I have
oven?
never done that. I want to so bad, but no, I have not. So we eat dinner there at the hospital, and I leave at about 6:30 because I got to get Isaac back. I'm gonna stay at home, watch Isaac. Brittany's gonna stay with Danette just to help her feel more comfortable. Because she was like, if I'm in the hospital, I wouldn't want to stay overnight by myself. That would be scary. So,
and you're like, as soon as Isaac goes to bed, it's time for a little
6-hour gaming sesh. No. Got some movies I've been meaning to watch. So we leave at 6:30. I get all the way home. Now we have to play a little bit of musical Cars because we ended up taking their car there. And Derek had his truck at our house. Our car's at our house too. So Derek leaves in his truck, and we're just going to take their car back. Well, I get to our driveway. Derek leaves. I start backing into the driveway to park the car. I get a call. Hey, they're releasing me. I can go home. Isn't that great? Yeah. So should I just, leave home and come and get you then?
Take an Uber. I'll see you in 20.
I got computer games to play. No, I was very grateful that she got to come home. The medicine worked. It's just the first one didn't do so well. And we were able to get her home and slow down the contractions. Now, this may be too much information, but let's just say, well, you know what they do to check to make sure that a baby's either coming or not coming. Words like dilation are thrown about the place. No progression that whole time. So that's what kept us hopeful that the the doors in Star Wars that open like a camera shutter, just like that. Those stayed firmly shut.
Okay.
The doors were not going to be breached.
I'm glad you only gleamed the surface of that.
Yes. Well, they checked many, many times, and it did not progress. So we were very thankful that happened. So So yeah, that was my Friday. I mean, more things happened probably, and I'm missing some stuff, but that was the good stuff. So we got home. I was basically gone from my wife was basically gone from 7:30 until 7:30. So 12 hours. I was gone for about 10 hours and then came home real quick. But what a long day. What a long day of sitting around and doing nothing, really. So, just thankful. Thankful though that nothing bad happened.
Exactly. Let's relish the good part here.
Yeah, if that's the worst thing that happens, then I'll take it. I'll take it gladly.
Take
a little bird.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No baby yet.
Yes.
Baby's coming though.
Yes, I still got some games to beat before this baby comes into the woods.
Then no more games for you. You're done.
You're done, kid.
I'll be done for about a year. I'll just look like I did when Isaac was born, tired all the time and miserable. But I also have Isaac to deal with, so I can't be tired.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how you continue to raise one kid and have to go through that new baby phase again. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to.
I'll make the boy do everything.
And at this point in life, I think I'm like 98. Well, as a family, we're like 98% certain we won't experience that. So,
I don't. I envy that just ever so slightly.
All right. Well, that is going to do IRL. That's going to be our show this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. No, let's do. We have Lucas. You cocked this. You Kakame made this up, and chat says you're really selling this whole having kids thing here, boys. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. Nobody wants to hear. Well, okay, I did share.
Josh also points out you have obligations. You got to help Josh build that PC.
That's true.
So
that's true.
More games to play.
We can't have the daughter get out until the computer is done. I will say there are good things too that I posted in the PSVG Discord about my son and him like learning to play Mario Kart and all this other stuff. But nobody wants to hear that. That's not funny, and
that's in the PSVG Discord. I don't care what happens there.
That's true. Well, nothing happens there anyway. This
is Fluxtaposed time.
Anyways,
it's all about me. It's about me.
Gaming resolutions. We're talking 4K, 1080p. No, just kidding. What did you think I was talking about?
I get it now.
This guy gets it.
You're gonna intro it?
Oh, well, you were talking about. You said I did this cockamamie plan.
This was your suggestion.
Okay, I can talk about it. That's fine. You just didn't let me know. Jeez.
Well, are we gonna do this right now? We're gonna do this in front of the kids.
Break up?
I mean,
breaking up the family.
I mean, you've been looking for a reason to go big with PSVG. This is it.
I already had one foot out the door. It's checked out.
All right. Well, I'm going back to it for your Nintendo. You heard it here first. Rybo exclusive. Fluxtaposed is done. We're gonna divide the assets.
Can I finish?
Webpage gets to share hosting privileges. It'll be on your domain 1 week, mine on the other.
Can I finish?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
Kiss?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't want our mustaches to tangle.
Ooh, that's true. Never tangle the mustaches.
Oh, it'll be like Velcro, right? I mean, what if he gets,
ripped apart? So gaming resolutions. Yeah, what made me think about this is I've had a thought in my head for a while, and I realized it's something that I want to do fairly soon, before it's too late. There's certain things that you want to do, whether it's watch a movie, read a book, or play some certain video games that if you don't do it soon, you'll probably never go back to it, or never start it, or you won't have enough time to finish it or whatever. Yeah. So I was wondering what other people's were, and I was actually pretty surprised. We do have some listener comments as well. But yeah, I said they could be anything, not just games that you want to play, but community-driven things, achievements, all sorts of stuff. I'm curious to know what yours are, because you've kind of shifted a little bit from PC gaming. You've shifted away from that. You're mostly just a Switch gamer.
To barely gaming.
To barely gaming. Yes. Well, then you should have more than anybody then by that, if you think about it that way. Or you just give it up and you're just like, I'm just going to stop trying completely because I know.
No, I got a couple.
Okay, well, I'll start first, I guess, and I'll share some of the one of the obvious ones. and I'll start with some of the games that I want to play and beat. And one of them I think is probably the most obvious, and it's one that I've started so many times that it's no surprise that it would be on my resolutions list, I guess. And that's Skyrim. And really all of the Elder Scroll games. I know. Well, it's one of those. I feel like it's one of those rite of passage games, right? You to a certain community, at least, you have things
Good
like.
Good thing there's 80 platforms you can play it on.
That's exactly. So how have I not beaten this game yet? Josh says, "Gross." Skyrim. Yes, I've started it enough times that if I probably just stuck with one character, I'd probably have it beaten by now. But instead, no, I want to try being an orc this time.
I probably would have actually continued to play it if I didn't buy it for Xbox 360, because that was just not a desirable platform to play that game on.
Can you imagine going back and looking at that now?
I mean, graphics were the one thing, but I mean, just the load times. Anytime you went anywhere, and it's just like,
you have to.
PC would have been. The PC would have made for a much more superior gaming experience.
Yeah, I bought an SSD drive just for Skyrim and all the mods.
I mean, I did install Star Wars: The Old Republic on my solid state drive just for those load times.
For the load times. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those, along with some other games I'll talk about, but there's just those games that Zelda kind of feels like one of them, where it's like, oh no, if you're not a true Nintendo fan until you beat Zelda and Super Mario Brothers 3.
Which Zelda though? We're talking about like original Zelda.
It's different for everybody. That's the problem. You got to play them all. You got to play all of them. For some people, it's usually their favorite one. For
Don't
some
play
people,
Zelda 2.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard. I saw somebody else play it. I feel like I suffered with them. Link to the Past.
Gamelon?
Yes. Link to the Past usually is in there. And Ocarina of Time. Those are usually the two major ones where they're like, you cut yourself a Zelda fan.
Tell you what, if you give me some collateral, I could let you borrow a certain 3DS that has access to both Zelda games.
You sound like comic book guy.
Maybe.
Worst offer ever.
Just saying. Got both those games.
Why don't you share one? I don't have time. I'd have beat them if I said Skyrim, not Zelda. See, you're already throwing me off.
You went off of that tangent. I just went with it. You know?
The girls never came.
Thank you. I thought about putting like a game to finish on there, but I didn't want to go that route. So I want to, because right now I'm in actually a pretty good place of maintaining a relatively clear backlog on my Nintendo Switch. I've done a pretty good job of playing everything to its completion before I gotta get this game out. I gotta get this game. I gotta get this game.
I was gonna say that's what happens when you don't buy games.
I don't want to go down that route of you buy a game and you play it for like 3 weeks or like a week, and then there's another game comes out and then you never go back to something.
You drop it and then
I've seen so many people. I shouldn't throw shade at anyone, because if you're a consumer and that's how you choose to enjoy the hobby, that I shouldn't throw shade at you for doing that. But I don't do that. I can't afford to do that, and I don't want to let that game stagnate. So right now, I think the only game that I hadn't finished is Sonic Mania, and I honestly don't know if I'll go back to that or not, because I was really super excited about that when it came out, and I don't know what it is. It just didn't
grab you.
It's like that blast of nostalgia that you want from the Genesis, but I don't know. So I've been picking up and I'm playing it right now is Octopath Traveler, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But I've been playing that to try to finish it, because I was really enjoyed that game, and it's an RPG. That's a bad thing to do. You just start playing it and you walk away, and then you're like, oh dear, what? No, now I got to start over. So I had just stopped after I finished chapter 2 for every character, and now I picked it up this past weekend and started playing it again. So,
wow.
I want to keep it clear.
You and I was just say you and I stopped at like the exact same spot, and I have it back from the library to do the same thing actually. So,
so I just want to keep that going, and finally this coming month there's some indies coming up, and those are in my budget. Although the Smash Brothers DLC, update 3.0 is dropping with the I'm not so huge on Joker coming to the game and having to play Joker.
A character from a game series you've never played? You're not so huge on that?
Yeah. So I'll watch the trailer after we record the show, but the 3.0 update's coming again. So part of me, like, I know I do want to get that fighter pack DLC, but that's like $20 that I could spend on an indie game right now. So what I'm saying, guys, I need the Twitch bits to come in so we can fund my gaming.
Fund his gaming habit.
That's what we need. But so that's the thing. Like I him and Pa and Prude over every purchase because I want to try to maximize. So, you know, I think honestly, I think my next game's gonna be Katana Zero.
Is that the
whatever that?
Is that the Jason game that was in the indie?
Yeah.
Nindies.
Yeah.
That did look good.
It looks good. So that's my thing. Is I want to keep the backlog clear. I don't want to. I would be sickened if I had a bunch of games I never played. I want to continue because I don't want my Switch to become my Steam library. Let's
yeah,
because that's not. Let's face it. I'm never going to play all those games. So
it's true.
So
didn't play the game I gifted you. Bought you DuckTales Remastered for $350.
Did you finish that? Did you finish Gods Will Be Watching?
No, but I gave it a damn good try. That game is hard. I never realized. It's like, oh, this game's going to be about story. You wish. Can't even get through the first level. It's horrible.
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's true. Speaking of old, difficult games from the NES days, one of mine, another game series that I would like to get back to and beat are the Mega Man 1 through, 6, and then, or is it 7? Well, I guess technically it's 11 now, but the original NES Mega Mans, and then basically everything that's in the Mega Man collection and the Mega Man Legacy collection and the Mega Man X collections 1 and 2. So I want to play all the Mega Man and all the Legacies. I don't know what you just did, but I can hear your computer fans really bad now.
I didn't do anything different.
That's better.
That's because I muted my microphone. I muted my microphone while I was typing, and I unmuted it.
Wow. Well, could you mute your microphone more, please? Sure. So, yeah, again, it feels like one of those things where we even use Mega Man stuff, and I've played Mega Man. It's not like I haven't played Mega Man. That's not what I'm saying. But you know how it is sometimes where if you take Mega Man or a game that you like to play that was old and you just boot it up for 30 minutes and then you play it and then you're like, okay, well, that was fun. But you didn't really accomplish anything. Like, I've never actually beaten Mega Man 1 or 2 or 3. You know what I mean? I've tried, but then I go off and do something else.
You've never beaten those?
Nope.
Ever?
I played them lots, but I've never actually went through, saved. Well, because if you think about it, before the emulators and everything, you'd have to put in a password.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
How many have you beaten? I'm sure it's 1 through 3.
1 through, I've beaten every single one I've beaten Mega Man 1 through 6.
Well, you had it on the GameCube, didn't you?
I've beaten X 1 through 4. I've beaten 11. I've beaten 9. I haven't beaten 10.
But have you beaten off?
I think I've beaten 8 as well. So
don't answer that.
I'm just.
I was gonna say, there you go. Exactly. That's the whole point. See, now you can't be my friend because I told you a secret.
I did beat Mega Man 1 on Nintendo system.
The original?
I'm not sure if I beat Mega Man 2 on an NES or was that not till an emulator? I don't remember.
Well, as we learned, emulation is the best way to play, which is,
only
that's
if they have
pretty
save
much
states.
Yes. Well, and that's how I probably will do it. Mostly so that after I beat, 3, usually I can do about 2 or 3 Robot Masters at a time. So then I can beat a few.
Mr. James Johnson hadn't beaten Mega Mans, and when those collections came out for Switch, he's like, I'm going to stream every Mega Man game as I beat him. And then he got to the Yellow Devil. And Mega Man, was it Mega Man 2? Or was it Mega Man 3? And then that was
2.
done. Then he was done. But I would...
bitch.
That would be...
Fluxtaposed, Patreon
Patreon
gold tier, Lucas's streams, Mega Man 1 through 3.
It'd go about as well as my Resident Evil stream.
Well, yeah, because look at we did gamer catch up when we were playing Mega Man.
Yeah, we did.
Mega Man
yes.
3.
Yeah, 3. Yep.
We failed terribly.
Oh God, we were
very
horrible.
bad.
But we also learned that the controller wasn't the best, and the emulation was being weird too. I think we were playing it off my laptop, and that was just a whole weirdness.
I think we had some input delay too that we were struggling with.
Listen to us. I think there was like input delay, and emulation was throwing me off.
There was a cross breeze that day affecting the
solar flare
ventilation on the laptop, which was causing an overclocking, overheating situation. And
that wouldn't surprise me.
There was a disk parse error, I believe.
You got another one?
I want to kind of play more PC games. I've neglected.
You kind of started with Borderlands, which is probably the worst place to start.
Man,
to come back.
I tell you what, guys, I don't know what it is. Hopefully, once we get out of beginning Borderlands and advance to a little more advanced Borderlands, it'll be a little better. Because man, the gunplay in those early stages, it's not fun for me.
It's not good.
It's not fun at all. Anyway, yeah, because I've been a PC gamer for a long time. All this talk about new console, like new iterations of the PlayStation or the Xbox, like further cement me that it's like I am just not a console gamer. Like a lot of people I know own every console, and I had an Xbox at one point, and I just I don't have the time. Even if I want, if money and desire wasn't a question, I don't have time to enjoy multiple consoles. That's first of all what I've discovered. It's just a waste. I'm not gonna wait. I don't want junk just sitting here. I'm not. I think everyone knows I don't want stuff.
Are you calling the Xbox One X and the PS4 junk? You heard it here.
And in this sense, I'm calling them junk.
Snob.
I mean, I just don't want stuff. I'm not tied to physical stuff. I'm not. So I don't have that desire to collect or anything like that. So, but my PC fell to the wayside. So I know moving forward, I'm toying around with the idea of maybe getting a new build together in 2020. But my PC there's nothing. I don't play anything on there. So my hope was to play some more games on my PC, and I can kind of loop that in to say I can play more with you and other members of the community, which has been great because I've neglected, let's say some 90% of my gaming right now. It was for a while there was Smash Brothers, where I'm just playing against random people, and Tetris 99, which I'm playing against random people. So yeah. I miss that camaraderie and that the co-op between people, and that side of the experience, because historically that's how I played all my games, especially on PC. We'd always play with other people we knew and this and that. So except when Lucas and I are kicking ass at Overcooked 2, that is, because we're pretty good at the game.
It's true.
So I'm just throwing that out there. So that's the other thing. I'd like to enjoy my PC a little more. Play that PC, the CFP.
CFP. That's a new Discord channel. And if you're not on the Discord, then what the hell are you doing with your life?
Lucas, how can they join the Fluxtaposed Discord?
Isn't it fluxtaposed.discord/.com?
No, not even close.
I don't know.
It's
probably at the top.
It's probably
it's not. Oh yeah, fluxtaposed.com/discord. Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Which makes no sense to me, but absolutely no sense to me. Lastly, for me, one of the things you talked about playing with the community more, and that is part of. I enjoy that we usually do at least one day between Josh, you, like with us playing Overcooked, or Callow, where I get at least one day where I play with other people, which is nice. Because typically I'm like, I just don't want to do it. But then I
just want to watch something tonight.
I haven't done that in a while, actually. But I have fun when I do it. I don't know. I'm an introverted person, so it's a lot of work to, in my brain to be like, I gotta talk to people. But this kind of leads into my overall thing. And probably the biggest one that I'm trying to work on, and I was actually doing it even this week and last week, and that's trying to So, and it goes along a little bit with what you were saying, and that's trying to actually make good use of the time that I have when I have the time. Because often, and we all know what it feels like, it doesn't necessarily have to be gaming. You can browse through your Netflix queue, and then it's been 30 minutes and you haven't watched anything. You can look at your Steam list and go, what the hell am I going to play? And then you find out, it's been 20 minutes and you haven't started anything, and you might as well not start because you have to go to bed in 40 minutes. For me, sometimes my son doesn't take a nap. He just has quiet time. And I'm like, well, I might as well not play anything because I feel like I can't focus on it and him. And it makes me feel like I'm also being an inattentive parent. And so I feel bad. But at the same time, I also know he's fine. And he pretty much never needs me unless he has to go to the bathroom. And he's really good about telling me that he has to go to the bathroom. So I'm never going to get anything done if I just sit there and stare at my queue or my backlog or him and haw about playing something. So
Dev says good news. You get over that by kid 2.
Oh, I'm starting to get over it already anyways. Well, it's part of the reason why I've noticed I can't really play the Switch handheld if anybody else is in the room, because if I get bothered even one time, I get so upset because I'm just like,
well, now, why are you doing this now?
Yeah. I'm like, why am I even trying to concentrate on this? Because I'm trying to do something and you're asking me questions, and you didn't ask me questions for like an hour before I picked this up. And now suddenly you got a whole novel to read to me. So yeah, it's a lot of it's self-imposed for me, and it's bad habits to get through, but, it's also starting a game and sticking with it, like you were talking about. And I've tried to do that with Mutant Year Zero. I'm almost done with that game, but there's other games that I feel like I actually need to go back. I've started and I need to complete before I move on, because I kind of want to be where you're at right now, where you have almost a clear slate, because I still want to stay open to what sounds fun. I don't want to like make gaming a chore, but you also need to have some discipline if you're ever going to finish anything. So
right.
That's like my overall biggest, definitely going to work on that right now, resolution. That's
Very
stupid.
And
that's my last one too.
Yeah, because I could have pulled like another one from games, like I always wanted to play Star Tropics.
Oh, I have more of those. Yeah.
Star Tropics. There's always, I think you're always gonna have one like that, or like I'd like to go through and play like some of the games specifically from my Steam list that I haven't played. I think this one is kind of similar to that, but I would like to actually play through and do like a new game plus mode on a game, because I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done, except like Metal Gear Solid, because I played through that like a gajillion times. Because that was actually like, let's face it, who doesn't want to play that game again once you get the bandana and it gives you infinite ammo or the invisibility
stealth suit?
The stealth suit. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? But
it's true.
I kind of like. I think I would like to try to finish. If I had to pick one specifically, maybe the Hyper Light Drifter.
Ooh, yeah.
New Game Plus, because that's hard. And the bosses are hard.
It's another game I need to finish.
I don't think I'll do that on PC, though. I think I'd have to wait. I'd have to buy the game for Switch, because I just don't think my controller is good enough on PC right now. And I guess that you're like, well, would it be cheaper just to buy? Actually, it probably wouldn't be cheaper to buy a controller. It'd be about the same to buy the game or the controller.
Yeah, as I say, depends on what.
So, otherwise, it'd be really nice to finish Hollow Knight's DLC, but damn, I don't think I can. I don't think I'm good enough to finish some of that.
Well, I played I can't even get through the third arena round, so.
I mean, that game is just punishing sometimes. So, I think I'd like to do a new game plus mode, or I don't know. One of my big goals for this year was to hit Elite Smash, and I did that. So, and that honestly, that's given me like a huge sense of accomplishment. And I think part of like I had another quasi goal of just not to buy games that I just don't need, not to waste my money on games. And I think I've been pretty good about that, because I haven't bought a game since Smash in December. So wow, right? Or did I buy any other indies randomly? Did I?
This guy's got a spending problem. He can't even remember all the games he buys.
Well, look at. Well, for example, I was excited and I bought Stardew Valley, and I've played that for maybe an hour and a half.
That was my first love on the Switch.
I keep telling myself, "Oh, the multiplayer update's out. I'm gonna go back to it," but I never do. So I don't want another situation like that.
Well, that game gives you stress. You found, so I don't think that helps.
Yeah, because I feel like, games like that, I feel like, well, you screwed this up. You should have put this over there. You didn't build this there. Oh, you put the wrong seed down.
I feel that way about city building games, actually, especially SimCity and stuff like that.
Winter is coming.
You're done. You're hosed. You
bought it.
So that, yep. I feel like I kind of phoned in that third one, but there it is. That's what it is.
Well, that's okay because we got a ton of listener things. You want to go? Eeny, meeny, mo.
You guys shared with us. We put the call out on Discord because we've been really bad about announcing these on the air when we were going to do stuff. So remind me after Overclock Remix break for announcement. Anyway, yes. Starting off with Callow, who sent this message via the Discord. My resolution that happened a few weeks ago was to put some effort to play with the online community. So I went ahead and I put a calendar entry for Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. I told the wife, the kids, the CPA, and the prison officer that from now on Wednesday nights, I'm going to try to play flexibly. And I should say I played more with the community in the past weeks than ever before. Or 2 months. I don't remember. #oldman. So I like this is the best way it sums up the best. He's like, yeah, I told the wife that Wednesday I'm playing with the guy, so who am I kidding? I asked for permission and hoped that she said yes.
We actually talked a little bit about this, my wife and I, about how you always check with your significant other before you do anything. And she said she read somewhere it's not. We joke that it's asking permission, but really it's just respectful to ask, to just talk it over with your spouse and be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Is there anything I'm forgetting? I forget everything. I don't know why my wife tells me anything. She should just write it on my arm like memento or something. Cause I'm like, we talked about that. What are you talking? I don't remember.
Yeah, I've been in that situation way too much. She's like, I told you about this. And she gets like really mad at me. And then I get really mad at myself because I don't remember anything. And I'm like, she probably did tell me this.
She tells me stuff when like in the morning when she wakes up and I'm still in bed. And I'm like, I don't remember that conversation. I literally had to say, stop talking to me when I'm like half asleep. Text it to me so you have proof because I don't even remember this conversation.
Well, then you're like, I didn't get that notification.
Well, that's true. You just got a new phone. You got all the notifications. New number. Who dis? Deuterino says on Discord.
Hey, Dude 427.
That's right. One of mine is to make sure everyone can see and play the glorious Hotel Transylvania 3, which I looked this up on Steam and it actually didn't look that bad. So it just didn't. Nobody bought it.
It had 2 reviews. Right here, dude. Heavy Metal Riff, Hotel Transylvania stream. Lock it in.
To be honest, all I did was look at the pictures and then tried to see what some of the reviews were. There were, like I said, only 2, but the pictures made it look like Mario Party, basically, except for maybe not mini games.
Think of the recognition you get when you make review number 3.
Oh my gosh!
Just saying. I'm just putting that out there.
Ones of people would care.
Coach Hulk, my gaming resolution is to replay the entirety of the Assassin's Creed series from start to finish.
That's a lot of game. That's a lot of games.
That's
a lot of going back to some older games that might not have aged as well.
That's a series I love that I'll never play again. And Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and that's where I stopped.
I wonder if it includes those weird 2D. Wasn't there 2D Assassin's Creed?
There's like a mobile game, and then there's like the one that's basically just a multiplayer experience. The Brotherhood, or
yeah. You said entire. He
said, not me.
Well, yeah, he said. You said as if he was listening to the show. I don't know if he listens or not, but it's in words now, and you're.
Hey, I'd like to think that when he's doing that quality DIY on that Bronco, he's got some sweet
the sounds of ratcheting,
Fluxtaposed in his ears.
Tightening up.
Sean Capri, bless his heart, if he's spread the gospel of Fluxtaposed, it's like nothing works to clean a toilet like a little Fluxtaposed. Now, decipher that how you will. Does he mean that he just throws his phone in the toilet? Or maybe he's just
You gotta smear it around a bit. Anything you smear is delicious. Josh, he's in the chat, so hopefully he can back himself up and not forget that he wrote this. Says, he's very thoughtful. He says, I don't know that I've made any resolutions for gaming personally. I mean, I would really like to give Mass Effect Andromeda another shot and complete it. I do really want to find a game that I can play with my wife that we consistently play together. I haven't found that game yet. What?
Hallway Hot Dog?
Yeah, that's a game you can play. I was going to say Overcooked because that, makes and breaks relationships. Hallway Hot Dog's good too. I really look forward to playing games with my son once he gets to the age where he is curious. I feel like it will be great for bonding. What's it? Uh-oh.
I don't know why. I'm just having a moment.
You got yourself with that one. I look for that too.
That's a real dinger. That's a humdinger zinger.
It is. As somebody who's actively trying to get into Mass Effect Andromeda myself, it's tough. It's tough.
Is that the recommendation?
The problem is it doesn't really feel like a Mass Effect game. It feels more like a Ubisoft game to a certain degree.
But are you Commander Shepard, and this is your favorite?
No, you're not. That's probably part of the problem. I heard somebody describe it as they basically took what Mass Effect was and then tried to just kind of transcribe it into a different, we need a citadel. Let's do this arc ship thing or the space station.
Yeah.
And, you need to visit all these planets, but it's not just visiting planets. It's also you have to do all these side missions and everything in every single planet, and I don't know. It's just a lot.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You got your tag. You used the everyone tag, and you got Donnie Reese to actually post within the Fluxtaposed Discord. And to that alone, sir, I say, wow.
Thank you.
That's amazing. He says, reach the credits for Persona 5. # resolution 2019.
He says he's going to do it if it's announced on Switch.
Right, because I don't see him going to do it with the Vita. I just don't see it happening, doing remote play on the Vita.
Oh, yeah. He can't even...
Not gonna,
if it's not turning the console on, it's not going to go well for him.
This also require... Well, it has to. I think it has to happen on Switch, too, because then it's going to be a new game.
Oh, starting from the beginning?
Well, no, because it's new. It's Donnie. Donnie suffers from the FOMO. He likes to be in the conversation. He'll attest to that.
That's true.
And
that's true.
I just worry that there's going to be a bunch of other new things coming to fight for his attention, and it's going to be real difficult for him to slog through a multi-hour RPG, which I hear Persona is.
So I've never heard of an RPG that isn't really. Are you saying that he's going to be popping on Persona 5 when it comes out on Switch? He'd pop for that.
Oh, yeah. Day one.
Donnie will be the first to say he'll be popping on day
higher
one.
than a Smash Bros. 3-stock comeback.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm popping.
Dang. Dat Ninja Dev, he was in the chat. I think he is. Look at there. Well, since you hit me with the or else, and I did say or else. Nobody asked or else what. I was fully prepared. This year, I just wanted to play with the community more, beat at least 5 games, and build a gaming PC. So far, I'm 1.5 out of 3. Now, I will say, though, there's building a gaming PC where you just go on PC Part Picker. You already know everything's going to work, and you just order the parts, and you put it together. Then there's doing what Dev is doing, where he just scavenges... He presses X to scavenge.
He was like Ray in episode 7. He went out to that desert and he found a bunch of junk and he
cut a core out of a Death Star and he threw it into, because he's got a Xeon, so that's obviously some sort of alien technology. And he threw some parts together. He's got 8 different connector transition things, from a 12 pin to a 24 to an 8 to a 3.
I don't even know if he would need a CPU in that thing. I think that video card could just power the whole damn thing.
It's true. It is giving it a lot of wings. It's giving it all the wings. He posted his score and tried to give me some guff. And I said, dude, your graphics card costs more than my computer. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
PC gaming talk.
Yeah. Well,
the console peasants don't even know what we're talking about right now.
it's true. They're like, what's PC? I use that to send email. Just kidding. Everyone sends email on their phone. It can if you're using a PC.
My favorite quote.
I'd like to know what the 5 games are, and I'd be curious to see if they weren't all just PlayStation. So,
Breath of the Wild.
No,
Maybe.
I thought I heard he was done with that.
Oh.
He would try to get 900 Korok seeds because that's the fun. That's all the fun. 900 Korok seeds equal
Get
fun.
out of here with that. You and Josh are crazy people. Grouchy Surge. My gaming resolutions is to just build a bigger community of people to share my passion with. I don't know why he was a little country twang there at the beginning. And to get Lucas on the backlog busters before years. And be careful what you wish for, Surge.
He's said that before, but I have never officially been invited. There have been no dates. I need dates on the calendar.
That's because you got to reach out to Jeremy Trash Turkey. He's the man that makes things happen.
Oh,
Surge
he's the
is the
people?
mover. Surge is the mover and the shaker.
He's the contact point.
He's the idea guy.
Gotcha.
He's like the shock and awe. And then Trash Turkey, like the glue that holds the pages together.
As many trash turkeys are.
Hey,
Gross.
you get along just great because that's a reference to Streets of Rage, you know?
Yeah, of course.
That was my horrible attempt at making that sound.
Yeah, I know what you did, though. It was good. It was good. I liked it. I was going to do when you do the, with Axel, you do the special move and he does the uppercut. Grab that claw! Or whatever. I always thought he said, grab the claw. Clearly that doesn't make any sense. I think, fun fact, I think I heard somewhere that, or read somewhere that the composer actually did the voices for the characters as well. So, fun fact for you. I don't know if it's true, so it really doesn't mean anything. The noise, our last bit of insight to today's topic, the noise said on Discord, and if you're not a part of Discord, what the hell's wrong with you? Gaming resolution equals to buy less games that I know for sure I bet I won't touch, I'm guessing. There's a little translation.
Lots of translation. Yeah.
So he's a man after your own heart. You both can commiserate about all the damn kids buying all these games and then leaving them half finished. Like cans of Coca-Cola. You ever notice that? People who buy cans, they always leave a little bit at the end. They never drink the whole damn thing.
Like if you told me that I could only buy one more game this year, it would be Zelda Link's Awakening. That'd be the one game I'd buy. And I could sit past all the others. So sucks. This is how the other half lives.
You already beat that game. Why would you just buy it again?
Because
it looks pretty.
Because I'm a Nintendo piece of crap fanboy and I can't do Reggie left, so I'm sad.
I'll believe that when you buy a PS or a Switch Pro. I almost said PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that's going to happen for me.
It's overclocked.
I could get a Switch Pro,
or I could build a PC.
And let's face it,
I vote PC.
We are just one catastrophic failure from this podcast failing on my side. So
that's true. I mean, you still have your computer on the floor, don't you?
No, it's on a piece of wood.
But but underneath you, basically under the desk. I mean, you hit a glass off of your desk just the wrong way, it's all over. And we all know what happens when I host the show. So if you don't want that,
I know I heard PSVG Prime this week.
That was good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's play an Overclock Remix. Thank you to everyone that sent in your gaming resolutions. We'd like sharing them. I hope you enjoyed ours. Now let's feature this week's remix from ocremix.org, a lovely music community that we've been spouting and playing their music for. We're going to hit 300 songs here pretty soon.
My God.
How many remixes? Well, probably not soon. We're not even to episode 300, but I mean, one day. One day we'll hit
if you count the radio episodes.
I mean, we count the radio episodes. I mean, if we want to do, I have a little handy dandy tracker. We've played 222 remixes on this year podcast, so I'm pretty proud of that. So We are going to play a random remix. Lucas randomly selects one like this.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
We got it. What we got? What we got?
Come on, Fahoogoogawds. We got 9.
Is it come
Oh my
on,
God.
Fahoogoogawds? Is it come on, Fahoogoogawds?
I am
Everybody to the limit that you
I wish.
to the limit, everybody, Fahoogoogawds.
Somehow it wasn't Chrono Cross, but
Ooh,
it's
I think
Kingdom Hearts.
Deuterino might like this one. Is this Dear Serenity?
It is.
Well then, friends, our remix tonight comes from that PlayStation classic, Kingdom Hearts 2. It's called Dear Serenity. It's by Tune In with Chewy, Kristen Nagus, and Hound Track. Those are our remixers. Our details. When was this game released, you might ask? Well, 2005.
I actually was just going to say that.
On the PlayStation 2. It is a remix of the song Dearly Beloved. It is ambient, cinematic, and down-tempo. And it's 4.5 minutes long.
It's going to put us to sleep.
It's going to put you to sleep. But, hey, sometimes they can't everything. We can't play prog rock metal every week.
You're not wrong.
You gotta mix things up every once in a while. So, as I sit here and wait for Lucas to give me that sign that we are not downloading this remix behind the scenes as we do this, but it's already been prepared in full, ready to go. It was all a sham. We didn't randomly select anything. It was all preordained, predetermined outcomes. But we're going to play this remix, and you can find it and many more at ocremix.org. We'll step away for a little bit. We're going to come back. We'll do Whatchuplayin. We'll kick you off. We'll be good to go. So, yeah. We love you guys. Stick around. We'll be back. He's going to play it once I stop talking and doing these hand fists. Hand fist. Hand fist. Hand fist. Okay.
Well, that didn't quite put me to safe as much as I assumed it would.
Oh, hey, that'll happen sometimes. You can't all be perfect. The announcement I want to make is we should probably pick a Netflixation.
Oh God.
If we're gonna
eventually
make that. I mean, the Fluxtaposed gaming episodes are kind of just slowly made themselves extinct.
That's true.
But maybe the Netflixation should try to still be a thing. So we should probably pick a movie soonish, since
tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll post them on the Twatters, on the Discord. And if you're not a part of the Discord, what the hell are you doing with your life? You can join at discord.com/Fluxtaposed. That's not true.
Yeah, Tom Servo says you still have the Overclock remix thing up because you're a new.
That's fine. I don't give
a shit. See how personally he takes things? You just try to help him make a better product, Tom Servo.
I was gonna say, this is any better?
That's my Lucas talk.
I know. Sounded perfect.
Rybo, I think this is all a ploy just to get me to join a random Discord server, and I've pared down my Discord servers. I mean, I don't need Discord to play Smash. I didn't know, it doesn't run inside of Smash. I will let Joe after work and Bobby, the Nintendo guru, speak for me on this matter. And I mean, these just sound like more excuses. I'm just trying to delay. I'm trying to delay things even further. I mean, it's already been 6 months. I mean, it feels like 6 months at this point.
Just tell him you don't want to. Gosh, break up with him already.
Yeah, right? Gosh.
Get a room. Now God. I'm just pissed.
All right, what you playing? Let's go.
Well, we talked about it. I bet that was super loud based on the...
I'll give you that.
Okay. I'm going to go first. I'm going to make it quick, so it'll be an hour. Just make the joke. Just make the joke. Mutant Year Zero. Mutant Year Zero. I talked about it already. I just wanted to say I found something out. So like I said, I'm planning on beating this game, and I'm really close. However, so this is a random number generator game, right? So what that means is what I basically learned is you can't save scum during a turn and assume that it's rolling the dice behind the scenes for every turn during combat. So if you have a 50% chance of criticaling a hit, you can't just reload at that middle of combat, take that turn and just keep waiting for that 50% to happen. Apparently, it's already seated at the beginning of each level or hub world that you go into. So I don't know how that works exactly, but I'm guessing it's just a string of if it's 75% chance, it's like hit, miss, hit, miss, hit. I'm not sure how that works. But basically all I really need to know is I can stop saving in the middle of turns and loading it and trying to figure out if I'm ever going to critical hit or whatever. So I found that really interesting because I kind of was mad about it a little bit because you feel like, well, why are the numbers not being rolled? That doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be random. It doesn't seem random at all. But I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's probably protection against that to make it too easy, to make you able to do that too well. But there are ways around it. Apparently, if you take your turns in a different order. So I'm not really sure how the science works. If anybody does, maybe I'll do some reading if nobody chimes in. But I found that to be really interesting. And XCOM worked the same way. And I'm sure most games that are like this do.
They're like, I'm not going to let this little shit cheat his way.
Just keep re-rolling. Re-roll until he gets his way. Nope.
Yeah.
No. Well, this game is really unforgiving, so I don't feel bad about it. I want to beat it one day, okay? Just beat it. Beat it. Just beat it.
Okay.
Beat it. Woo!
Let's do it.
I will. All right, so I talked about this game a little bit on another show. We won't talk about that, but what we will talk about is this game, Anno 1800. Everyone's going to play this one. It's an open beta, or it was last weekend, that Josh had opened my eyes to. Damn him for doing so. After my long day, I decided, well, I'm tired. What I need to do now is play a really slow city builder game.
Really slow, dumb game.
It looks stupid. Josh said he looked at 3 screenshots and still didn't know what it was. Kind of like Hotel Transylvania 3.
I'm going to look it up right now, too.
What it is it's a city builder, sort of like SimCity, but not as much of large scale. You're plopping down buildings. You're not zoning, like here you can build houses. Here you can build offices. Here there be monsters. None of that stuff is happening.
This guy plays it. There's a stream of this guy playing it for 7 hours and 52 minutes.
And nothing has happened yet. He built his first building. No, it's your basic economical city building game, but on a smaller scale. A town builder, if you will, not a city builder. Okay. And some of the things I liked about the game are there are story reasons. There's a campaign as to what you're doing. You are kind of exiled off to another island that you're going to make your fortune with.
Oh, so you're Australia.
Sort of. Through sail, you're not prisoners, though. Sailing and industrialization, right? The big 1800 things. Everyone remembers that. So what I liked about the game is when you had to build things, and I use this as an example, when you have to get wood as a resource. Get wood. I got an easy way to get wood. You bastard. Fine, maybe stone. Should I get when you need to get stoned? No, get wood. When you need lumber. Nothing. It doesn't get better.
No.
What happens is you can build a lumber camp, right? And then you cut down logs, and then you need to make those logs into boards. So when you're looking at wood as a resource, on your menu, it's basically just you hit that resource, and it shows you, up pops this menu that says, here's all the buildings in this chain. This is the beginning of the supply. This is the end. So you'll have things like clothes or sausage or beer. It'll show you all of the steps, all of the things. Now, when I played this, there were only 2 that I encountered. There might have been 3 steps. So your first step is woodcutter's hut or lumberjack camp or whatever. Last step is sawmill. Boom.
Yeah.
You have the resource. So it visually tells you really quickly what you need to build to accomplish what you think you're trying to do. I liked that. Made it very simple to navigate the menus once you knew what you were doing. There's also farmers and workers. There are 2 different things, and you have to balance the population of both, because only farmers can work on farms and do certain jobs, and only workers can work at like lumberjack camps and stuff like that, or mining mining for ore and stuff like that. So there's kind of a balancing act that you have to do, because you can't just build farmer houses and worker houses. You have to build farmer houses, and then you upgrade them, and they turn into worker houses. So there's kind of a society aspect as well.
Okay.
I liked it more than I thought I would, but I would say, am I going to pre-order this? No. God, no. It's fun. It's fun if you like economical building games where there's not much combat and you're just trying to amass a fortune. Who doesn't want to do that, right? Right. The problem is it just doesn't, I don't know. It's a game that I can wait for, basically. If I really want to play this, I'll wait until it drops to $15. I'm sure there's plenty of people who love this type of game and will pre-order it, and it'll be great. And honestly, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just not one of those games that I feel, if it doesn't have multiplayer, I really don't feel like I need to pre-order it.
And there now you're like, oh, I got an hour to play, and then you're like, oh, I've made 3 buildings tonight.
Yep.
And then you kind of feel like you kind of wasted your
you felt like nothing happened, really. Yeah.
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 I thought I really wanted to play this new SimCity game, or what was that other much better city builder that came out after that?
City Skylines or
City Skylines. Okay. I was like, I thought I was going to play either of those, and I didn't play it.
You're like, no.
I didn't buy them either. So I mean,
that's good. You started off. You ended on the right foot. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Anno 1800. The open beta's done now, and it's probably pretty close to being out. But
reviews. I think reviews just went out yesterday, so it's got to be dropping this week.
Okay, I'd be interested to see what people thought of it, but like I said, I don't know. It's kind of one of those genres that I toy around with, but it's not my main squeeze, so to speak.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, I did watch something, but it has to do with video games. I was kind of farting around on Netflix, and I happened across this documentary called Playing Hard, and it was clearly about video games. So I was curious to see what it was about. And it is a documentary that was filmed about Ubisoft, I believe Ubisoft, and it followed the development of a game that you and I are fairly familiar with.
Yeah.
For Honor. It talks about, it wasn't called that at the time when they first started it. I have not finished this. I will preface this with that. I just want to say the person who's in charge, like the creative director or the person who's in charge of making the game or have the idea of the game, is named Jason Vanderberg.
Okay.
And I can't tell if I am inspired by him or if I think he's a total chode. It's very difficult because with creative people, sometimes they tend to be very assertive. They tend to be a little weird, I guess. Quirky is a good way of putting it. And he's no different. I don't think he's unlikable. I don't know. He has a way of talking that I just don't really like. He's very he says things that are very, like, he describes this game, the game that he wants to make, For Honor. He says, I've wanted to make this game for 8 years or 12 years or since I was 12. I don't even remember, but he made some grand claim. He's like, and nobody made it, and nobody made it, and nobody made it. And then I decided I was going to make it. And then I pitched it to Ubisoft, or I pitched it and nobody wanted to make it, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, there are plenty of other melee based game, like medieval games that came out before and after this. You're not the first. So it's things like that he speaks in such grand terms that I feel like he makes himself sound awesome, and he just
he's Peter Molyneux,
fairly normal. Well, I didn't hear any promises yet, so no promises. But yeah, Playing Hard. I think I'm going to finish it. It's just sitting down to actually do that. But I just found, I would be curious if anybody else checks it out. Playing Hard on Netflix.
It's in my queue.
Okay.
Because I heard some other people talked about it, and I was like, I think I should check it out.
One thing to note, this is really weird. So it's
Did they fix the subtitle issue yet? Or is
nope,
that still...
nope. I didn't know anything about it. So I started this movie, and people start talking in French, and there are no subtitles, and you're like, is this like some kind of stylistic choice? What's going on? Nope, you have to turn on English subtitles or you won't be able to tell what anybody's saying.
Dumb.
Well, except for the English people. It is very stupid. I don't understand that, but yeah, English subtitles, definitely a must, or you will miss about 50% of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what you're playing.
That's it. All right. Well, for myself, I watched this a couple weeks ago, but it had other content that eclipsed it. So it's the featured one tonight, The Highwaymen, Netflix original.
Yeah.
Stars Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. It's the untold story of two Texas Rangers that bring down that dynamic duo, Bonnie and Clyde, running amok across the countryside, stealing and murdering. We got to put a stop to them.
Nice. I like that.
I don't know. I thought it was quite. My wife and I watched it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I didn't know much about this story. I didn't know. I really don't know a whole lot about Bonnie and Clyde, other than what kind of general gist you get from their infamy. What they did, but it was kind of crazy just how the general public was like obsessed with them.
Yeah, that's true.
More so than celebrities almost at that point. But it's a whole different time period, whole different place and time. But I really enjoyed it. I thought I like Kevin Costner. I like Woody Harrelson as both as actors. So, you know me. I don't break down film. I don't.
Well, you should right now.
I don't look at the themes. I watch it from start to finish, and then when it's done, I was like, did I like the story that was told? Did I get entertainment value from the story that's told? Yes and yes. A little longer. It's over 2 hours, so that that's in this day and age, hour and a half is our sweet spot. We can't handle to be committed to anything for a long period of time. But
true.
I mean, I enjoy that, and my wife did too. We both thought it was good. I think the two leads had good chemistry with each other. I think I mean, that's all I think I really need to say about it. It's good. I like that. I like that setting for that time period for film. It was nice. It was
Did you ever see? Did you ever see? I think it's called Public Enemy, with Johnny Depp. Sort of the same time period. They're outlaws. I don't remember the whole story. I remember seeing. I never watched it, but I remember seeing stuff about it.
There's that one with Shia LaDouche and Bane, where they're bootleggers. I think Lawless. I think that's what it's called. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
That's a good one, but no, I haven't seen that. Moving on, we also watched The Silence, another Netflix original, which appears at face value to be cashing in on
the Quiet Movement,
Bird Box, and The Quiet Place. You know, that whole thing, but different enough. Nothing amazing here. It's not. It doesn't do anything new, but it's not terrible. It was an entertaining night viewing for us. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't like go away because this was like not gonna, you know. But I don't know, it wasn't bad. It's not horrible, but not bad. It has what's his name? Oh gosh, he was in Northern Exposure.
Should have just kept moving.
Sex in the City. I can't think of his name.
Two things I've never seen. Well, I mean,
but
Sex in the City.
My wife probably enjoy him as an actor too. But it was a good, just hey, it's Saturday night, let's watch a movie type flick. You know, not gonna blow you away.
Who chose it though, you or her?
I think I did.
Okay, you're working your way back up.
And I had her sold on it because they had Stanley Tucci in it, who she likes. And it's got the actress that plays Sabrina from the series Sabrina. She's in it too. So.
Oh, imagine that. 2 Netflix originals.
Yeah, right. And then she's like, as she's watching it, she's like, I think I just like bald guys with glasses, because there's like the way back, the guy who wrote that she thinks really funny is that. And I was like, oh, good. There's hope for me. There's hope for me.
You're gonna like me a lot in like 5 years.
That's probably my future. So. And then yet another thing we watched, Lucas, and she wanted to make sure I mention this because we think you and Danette would also enjoy it. It's a series on Netflix called Atypical.
Yeah, I think we checked out the first episode or something like that.
Okay, because what was that book that you read, that same one that Jess read? It was like the Mandy Project or Mandy Project. There's some book.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. Because I was starved for books, so I just took Danette's books, and I think it was.
What was that one called?
I think it was the Mandy Project.
Because I know I'm confusing the one with the one title by the one TV show title.
But you're talking about like the scientist guy who gets a date by formulating a self test or whatever about them.
She's like, that's what it reminded me of a little bit. But for those people unaware, it's this is a TV series on Netflix. There's 2 seasons out right now. It's about a high school senior who's on the autism spectrum, and he wants to start dating, and everything that comes around with that, both from the family dealing with that, him struggling with the social cues and norms, and trying to make his way through that. We watched 2 episodes so far, and we both really enjoyed it. I think it's really good. I think the acting, I think all the actors are really good. Mm-hmm. Michael Rappaport's always interesting, though.
I think we started it when it first kind of came out, and I had seen it, and I was like, "Oh, we should watch this." But the problem was, I think Isaac was a little bit younger, and our time to watch things was no longer during the day. Yeah. And we barely don't watch anything anymore at night. So
because you're different. Antonio, I'm not sure if I just know it's 2 seasons as well. I think I was doing some IMDb research though, and I thought I saw season 3 listed on there. So hopefully that means that there's going to see more of it. So I recommend that for people to check out. And the last thing, as I mentioned, I did start playing Octopath Traveler again, playing through the 3rd chapters of the character's mission, the stories right now. I'm really trying to like figure out like a best way, like to not min-max or anyway, but to optimize my party and the jobs and everything.
Optimized Traveler.
Kind of like how I want each character to play, and it's kind of funny how this game works. So I just finished Therion's chapter 3, And the first time I fought the boss, I got like I was definitely doing something wrong because it was an uphill battle, and I was just like constantly getting hit for like 1,000 damage. I was just losing characters, and finally, it's like I just let myself get wiped so I could restart. Then I went back and I like just plowed through it with no problem. So it's interesting how just like certain tactics are, trying to keep a certain enemy in a broken loop, so to speak. It really makes a huge difference.
Who you bring with you makes a huge.
Yeah,
it's clear they want you to bring certain people because when there's certain damages that are only affect characters.
Well, my complaint is like my party is almost the same all the time. I always have my main was Alphen, which if I could go back and change it, I'd probably swap out a different character. But he's very useful. I mean, he can tank, he can heal. So I mean, he's not a bad character by any means, and his apothecary skill is pretty interesting. So he's my main. So I always have Alphen. You almost always have to have, Cyrus, because the elemental damage is great, and so then I almost always have who's the tank, the knight, Ulrich, thank you. I almost always have those three, almost all the time. And then, but the rotating one, it was depending on whose chapter I'm trying to do.
That's
I wanted
true.
more healing. So, but then the problem is, I've noticed, like, for instance, I was doing the Therian's chapter 3, said level 36 recommended chapter. Well, at the time when I started playing as Therian, he was like level 26.
Yeah, I've noticed that problem already.
Well, like Alphen is level 50. So
Yikes.
all my main characters, I'm like over leveled. So then I basically end up just sitting there and grinding for a while to level up the characters I need to actually use. And I kind of wish like even like Final Fantasy VII had that where the characters you didn't use were like passively gained some.
They'd be like levels. 2 levels behind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of wish there was something like that there, but I guess maybe there's a balanced reasoning behind that. So it's kind of stinks to have to grind characters to be able to use them.
I agree, because the last person I chose to do the chapter 2 stuff, I don't even think I'm done yet, but they were already 4 levels behind or something.
Yeah. Like Tressa, Primrose, Therian,
the girl,
and
the other girl, the healer.
I can't think of her name.
Ophelia. Woo!
Ophelia, and she was who I played in the demo. They're all like behind because I just don't have to use them that much because like that fourth spy really doesn't matter. A lot of the time I think Hanet, who I've used there the most, just because.
Yeah, she's cool.
So, but I'm still enjoying it. And every time I hear that guitar riff, I always think of you.
I hate that guitar.
Emotional.
They need to use anything else. It's that part in the. This one's not quite as bad, but it's when there's mystery or intrigue about, and it goes like it has that weird like
yes,
I can't.
Yes, I know. We're gonna use the emotional guitar in every episode in the IRL section.
Okay, yeah. I like it, and as a way to like, well, that's our show.
But it's been fun going back to it. I do hope to actually finish it, and then maybe I'll try to. I've heard the end game dungeon extra content part is like insanely difficult. Maybe I'll try that too. I don't know, but it's sad that I put the game down, and I knew if I kept neglecting it, I'd forget all about it, and I'd have to be looking at restarting. And I didn't want to have to do that, so It's been fun going back to it. I've enjoyed. I think I've done chapter 3. I've done Alphen's. I've done Ulrich's, and I've done Therian. So I've done three of the 8 so far. So almost halfway through the chapter 3 progress. So
out of how many?
8.
Octopath. Probably
8.
just
Octo. 8.
8 paths, 8 characters, 8 chapters, 8 hours to beat.
I'm at 40.
8 months to beat.
Yeah, I put 40 into it just so far. So good fun having. We'll check in with that. Let's do some around the web, kind of quickly because I feel like we've been a little longer show.
Yeah,
and I have to because he is Dan Anthony. He has to be mentioned in around the web. I enjoyed this headline a lot. What's the best pasta? End quote. The man was allegedly shoveling spaghetti into his mouth with his hands. This comes from Fox71.
That is a good headline.
And of course, where is this man from? That's right. He's from Florida.
Florida man.
Florida man arrested outside of the Olive Garden.
It's always Olive Gardens and Red Lobsters. I'm telling you, they're not as nice as people think they are.
After eating pasta belligerently. This is in Naples, Florida.
Pasta.
we're gonna paraphrase this because this guy looks like drunk Jesus. Florida man was arrested outside Olive Garden after eating pasta in an inappropriate manner. Officers,
How do you eat pasta in an inappropriate manner?
This occurred at 3:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. He was reportedly asking restaurant patrons for money and yelling at them using explicit language. When police arrived, they discovered a shirtless man sitting on a bench outside the establishment. The man was allegedly shoveling spaghetti into his mouth with his hands.
I imagine. Do you remember the video of of what's his name from Knight Rider, the Hoff, eating that burger, and he was so drunk, and it just like falls apart while he's eating? That's what I imagine is going on right here.
Oh God! Man identified as 32-year-old Ben Paget, who had been placed under arrest for disorderly intoxication. Before being placed in handcuffs, officers gave him a paper towel so he could wipe the pasta off his face.
They treated him like a baby.
Blah, blah, blah. He was faced an additional charge of resisting arrest, of resisting an officer and without violence, and was released on a $2,000 bond. So there you go.
In there.
I mean, if you're going to get the taste of Italy, you might as well shovel it in there.
You got to taste it all, dude. The best taste is at the bottom.
Callo, Mr.
Wait,
Callo.
we didn't answer the question. What's the best pasta?
There is no pasta. They're all good.
Is chow mein is okay? So like, is rice pasta?
I mean that's
it's
Asian.
a noodle.
I mean,
it's a rice noodle.
You can't be Mexican. What have we learned from Wayne? You can't be mixing Mexican with continental. It's whole different food category.
True.
Pasta to me is Italian.
Well, that's just
it's
your
like
racism.
Saying, would you call Thai food pasta? No.
I'll tell you what the worst pasta is though. When my wife overcooks it for like 15 minutes and they get gigantic and disgusting.
Or when she gives you the expired sauce.
God, I forgot about that.
Or the moldy cheese.
The moldy cheese. Remember when I took a shame picture for social media of like the 14 shredded cheese bags that were in our...
Oh, God.
Good Lord.
Calla shared this on foxnews.com. Chaos at Walmart as woman performs karate. Son exposes himself. Dog steals food. Police say.
Gosh, they're in it all together. I'll distract them with my karate.
These mugshots are not.
They are
tasteful.
Faces of meth for sure.
Now these are not. This is not Florida. At least we're in Wisconsin. Chaos descended Wednesday night after a karate-performing mother, her naked son, and their belligerent dog shoplifted and ran amok in the store. I didn't know a dog could be belligerent, but I guess it can. Eau Claire Police Department said on social media that officers responded to a call that a woman, Lisa Smith, 46, and her dog, Bo, shoplifted items from the store. The woman's son, 26-year-old Benny Vaughn, that sounds like a troublemaker. Old Benny Vaughn was causing chaos in the store.
I don't know. It sounds like a pair of shoes, too. I got my Benny Vaughns on.
Oh, it does.
See?
The police learned that Smith came into the shop with her dog, unleashed him immediately, and running off towards she unleashed him, and then the dog immediately ran off towards customers. So the woman was pulling apart displays in the store and placed them in the cart. So she used the dog as a distraction, I believe. After being told to leave the store, the woman began showing off her karate moves in the parking lot to fend off police officers.
Don't worry.
Oh, God.
I know the death grip.
The dog tried to flee the crime scene unsuccessfully, with the box of Jiffy cornbread muffin mix in his mouth. After a brief fight with officers, Smith was arrested. Awesome. As a last-ditch attempt, she tried to kick a window out of the police car. Meanwhile, her son was getting fully naked and exposing himself to other customers at the store. He then tried to cover himself with new clothes without trying to pay for them. I mean, I think we've got enough out of this one. He
went on later to go to a good spaghetti joint and shovel some spaghetti in his face.
This is about as good as that this is about as good as that couple that tried to rob that thrift store. I mean, that convenience store, and then the woman like hid in the ductwork above it, and then she like falls through the. This is right up there.
How did I get here? They should. They're clearly in the wrong business. They need to be a traveling entertainment show because that damn dog. I can't train Cody to do anything, let alone steal me some cornbread.
All he knows how to do is
eat
his own shit. I mean,
that's true. That's definitely not stealing.
You only had to show him how to eat shit one time, and he learned.
That's true. He saw me do it, and he was like, "Whoa!"
He was like, "That's sold." And lastly, from BuzzFeed, this is submitted by Kevin Austin. A Florida man was attacked and killed by a bird often referred to as a living dinosaur.
Wow.
Florida man has died after being attacked by either one or two cassowary birds, which have often been called living dinosaurs and are considered one of the most dangerous birds in the world. They're basically like an ostrich mixed with a velociraptor that'll murder you. That is a cassowary.
True. These shouldn't even be alive.
He was 7-year-old Marvin Hayos. He owned the farm where the incident occurred. It appears that the gentleman who was killed, I'm quoting here, it appears that the gentleman who was killed raised the birds and was injured after falling in a path near the cassowary enclosure. That's Jeff Taylor, the fire rescue deputy chief for
obviously
Alachua County. I believe that's how a deputy would talk about this matter.
That's
the birds are dangerous.
That's close to my do you need assistance? I will murder you. That's what I imagine every person in any position like that sounds like.
He follows up. There were 2 cassowaries on site, but it's unclear which one or if both birds took part in the attack.
Kind of got a little Bill Clinton-y at the end, but that's okay.
That did. My fellow Americans.
My fellow cassowaries.
I did not inhale. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. That was the victim. Our crews are working very hard to give the victim the best chance possible at survival. Boy. Here's some facts about cassowaries to everyone. Let's learn here. Cassowaries are large feathered birds that resemble the emu, according to the San Diego Zoo.
Jason,
I
have a question. Do the cassowaries have large talons?
Yes, actually they do. They can run as fast as 30 miles per hour, and they can grow as large as 6 feet tall. They are native to tropical forests in New Guinea and Australia. They possess a claw on each foot that can grow as long as 4 inches, Napoleon. 4-inch talon. And
oh my gosh.
They can slice open any predator or potential threat with a single
slice you open
kick.
Ear to ear.
Yes, Antonio has the quote of the night. The birds were not apprehended. They flew the coop.
Oh, God.
Blah, 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 blah.
Last scene headed south for the win.
The birds are secured on private property. The incident is currently being investigated. Representing this, So
how do you investigate? He fell down and died.
Don't keep giant killer birds on a farm if you don't want to have a chance to get killed by them.
I don't understand anyone who. Okay, I don't know if this is a legitimate farm or anything, or if it's one of these crazy people who keep tigers in their backyard. But
right.
Anybody who does the tigers in the backyard thing, I do not understand that at all. Just go to the zoo, like get a zoo pass, go every day.
Yeah, man,
stay alive.
This has been one of my favorite around the web so far. There was no bestiality.
There were beasts though, especially the spaghetti monster.
And we had Florida Man, we had Beast of Prey, we ran the Gambit, and when you run the Gambit, you might get burned sometimes, but not tonight because we're all winners. Thank you guys for submitting. If you want to. Feel free to submit it on our Discord. That seems to be the popular way to submit content to around the web. And you can find that again at fluxtaposed.com/Discord. That is going to do this episode, I think. I'm going to throw it in the can. I'm done.
How overjoyed would you have been if I actually had queued up the music from the Octopath?
That would have been.
That's getting ambitious. I can barely play any of the stuff for Whatchuplayin or OC Remix.
Final thought from Duderino. I bet having a tiger helps you get laid, to be honest.
Having a tiger rug in your house.
If you had a tiger and you were Sex Panther, done deal.
That's true.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you to all of our patrons, but a special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Josh Brown, Kevin Awesome, Kyle Heyman, Tyler Allen, Tom Servo, Dottie Reese, Matt Knight, and our Executor's Excellence, Dude427, Edwin Callow, Devin Tyus. What? Where's Josh Braboni and Dan Anthony, you might ask? Well, they have graduated to the Crusaders of the Legion tier.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for your support. We love you all. If you want to join the Flux Legion on Patreon, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching and joining the live chat. You can do that every week at twitch.tv/Fluxtaposed. That is going to do it. We're going to get out of here. And we'll be back next week and do it all over again. Bye!
Reminded me of Mommy!
Mommy! Wait, Mommy!
Yeah, bye.